Hello and welcome back to Brown Candy Paint. I am finally back with another hair tutorial. The purpose of this video is to visualize my process, technique, and tips when installing box braids. Please feel free to comment with questions and I will answer them the best I can. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button as well. Enjoy! I am using Expressions hair for these box braids because I like the way it dips better and it's thicker. The hair color I am using is in 613 or 613, whatever you want to call it. It's a blonde. I think it's one of the lighter blondes. I'm using my Denman brush to detangle, the scissors to cut, obviously, the comb to do my parts and detangle. These mini clips to clip away each parted section, and jam to keep everything slick and neat. Instead of cutting the hair in half, I'm going to cut it into 3 separate parts. Yes, sometimes when you cut it into 3 parts, you'll get shorter hair. But the way that I'm going to taper it, it will allow for me to use less hair to have less bulk towards the bottom. So it'll be even more tapered and thinner at the bottom. And it just decreases the overall weight of the hair that's on your head. I do this because Expressions hair is already kind of heavy in the way that it's made, I suppose. Alright, so I'm going to take these scissors and cut those thirds, This is the simple stuff, people, the simple stuff. As long as you do it the way that I showed you, so that you would have even pieces. That's just the way that I came up with and I like it. Okay, so here is this 1/3 part of the hair. It's short, I know, but don't worry. See, when I put it up to these braids, see how short it is compared to the other braids that I had already pulled and tapered? And crap, I forgot my brush. Step 2, before I begin to pull the hair, I am going to detangle, and then I kind of move it down some because the piece that was locked into my finger still had the tangles. Don't forget about that. Now we're going to separate it out into smaller pieces because it'll be easier to pull with this smaller section. It'll go faster and you'll have to comb out less tangles. That's how long we want it to grow. Basically, how much of that taper we want. So I begin to pull tiny strands of hair. And then I begin to pull and show you how long it's going to be. See how much more length we gained? And now I'm going to pull really, really fast. Yeah, this is how fast I do it in real life. You guys got to get on my level. Okay, I'll slow down for those who couldn't keep up. But here is the finished product of this side. It's so much longer. Now we gotta detangle that hair, and then you gotta detangle the other side. I wrap it to hold on to the hair so that it just doesn't slide through my fingers. Okay, so some reasons why we pull the hair. It allows for a sleek, natural look. It helps the braids stay together towards the bottom and, so they don't unravel. Oh, I'm showing you this piece on the bottom, how it's more blunt and the other side is more tapered, and we don't want that. So the way that I counteract this, I take the hair, I separate it out, and then I kind of flip it so that the tapered end was on that other side's blunt end. I don't know if that makes sense. But anyway, I keep doing this over and over and over again just because I don't feel like pulling the other side. Thanks to video editing technology, we're going to speed through this detangling process. Ooh, look how fast we're going. All right, so the hair is the length that I need it to be. Look at it, it's long. It's just as long as the other braids. Perfect. I bet you didn't believe me, did you? I proved you wrong. Step 3, separating this pulled hair into individual braiding bundles. This for me adds speed during braiding, especially when I'm doing someone else's hair. I sit and make these loops while watching TV or, YouTube videos, whatever, but I separate out the thickness that I want for my braid. And then I just get it, wrap it around in a loop, kind of like a loop knot. Yeah, and there it goes. So I make a bunch of these. Also, you can add and take away from the bundle during the braiding process, but I try to stay relatively close to how thick or thin I want the braid. so that I'm not constantly adding or constantly pulling away. See how this one is thicker? I took some out, put it to the side, whatever, it's fine. And even while, you know, I need to braid, like I said, I can add on or take away because I'll have like an extra stash somewhere. I don't know why I'm acting like people can't count that there's 3 there, but whatever. Oh yeah, you also have the option to soak the hair in vinegar. You can do this with just opening the pack, or you can do it with the pooled hair / separated hair, how I have it. You allow it to dry overnight and you spread it out for faster drying so it can be more thorough. Why vinegar? It's because it removes chemical residue from the hair that can irritate the scalp, and this is what causes that excess itching. Time out. I forgot to tell you guys how to prep your hair before you braid it. Duh. What was I thinking? Here it goes. Before installing braids, you need to prep your hair, your own hair, your natural hair, your God-given hair. Yes. So begin with clean hair, obviously, and a clean scalp. Wash your hair to remove the dirt and grime with that stuff called shampoo, if you need to, or if you found a clarifying shampoo. I still can't find those anywhere. Use that. It allows for a deeper clean. Your hair will naturally build up oils and grime over time in these braids, since you normally won't wash it as often as you would while wearing the box braid hairstyle. You also need to deep condition your hair after you wash it with a good conditioner. You want to restore that moisture and nutrients back into your hair, since, again, you won't be doing much of this while you're wearing this hairstyle. Next, you want to moisturize your hair. You can use a dollop of your favorite cream or a light butter. You want to do this before you start braiding, and I kind of like to concentrate on my ends because they tend to be drier. I'm pretty sure lots of people's ends are drier than the rest of their hair. So focus on your ends, and the reason why we're doing this is because your hair is going to be laid up next to synthetic weave that is not natural. I think that weave, to me, it strips the oil. When I take the hair down, it seems to be a little bit more dry than normal. I also blow dry my hair because I like for my hair to be straight when I start my braids. To me, it's easier to braid, it's detangled, it's smoother, so it blends in with the braids better than having, like, the kinks and curls that you have to force down. That's just my preference. It's so much easier, especially parting and all of that. It's just less of a mess. All right, back to the video. Oh my God, let's jam. So corny, but you see how I parted my hair here in the front? Because I hate braids that fall on my face from day one. Eventually it will happen somewhat anyway, but I braid the front couple of braids along the hairline, back, or at a slant in a very short cornrow, only like 3 weaves in the braid. Over time, the hair will loosen up or grow out and be more maneuverable. But braiding it back allows for you to still put it up in a ponytail. You just have to braid in the right angle or the right direction. But you can braid it in any direction, which will naturally fall for your hair. It's all up to you and your preference. You can work with it. But here I'm taking these strands, I'm splitting them in 2. This is how we're going to start our braiding. One section is smaller, the other is a little bit bigger. The reason why is because we're going to cross this hair over, and that slightly less, that doesn't make any sense, but the one that doesn't have as much hair, that is going to be one whole side. It's going to be a third of that braid. All right, so you hold this hair in whatever way is comfortable for you. This is so hard for me to explain to people, so that's why I'm saying whatever is comfortable for you. Hopefully you know how to add braids in, but just watch me do this. I am picking up hair as I go. That's just the way I do it for those front ones. For the other braids, I already have the parted section separated out into 3 strands, and I pick those up at the same time while I'm holding the 3 strands of the weave in my hair. Make sure you braid carefully and add jam where it's needed for sleeker results. For example, on the ends of your own hair to smooth the curls or the frizzes into the braid. So you do this because you want to start neatly. You want to have that base of the hair neat. You also want to include all the hair evenly, and you want to be able to tuck that hair in the weave, so please be careful. This helps the braid itself last longer as far as showing frizz or whatever over time, since your own hair has less of a chance to frizz up outside of the braid. And I will show you that, how I push it in. See how my thumb is going inside of each strand? That's me pushing my own hair in the strand of hair. Once you get past your own hair, you can speed up and you can change braiding positions if you need to, but make sure not to steal from other strands while in the bulky area if you can help it. This keeps the braid from forming small lumps and kinks. The goal is to have a perfectly smooth braid. Quick tip, to increase your speed even more, section off your hair into little parts. Like, make your parts before you even braid. Make like 10 to 12 of them. And for each part, put your jam on there and then clip it off with a small clip until you have enough. And then once you're done, start braiding. You can also add jam towards the end if needed, where it thins out and tapers. I personally leave only about 3 inches of free hair on the ends, because if there's too much left undone, it increases the risk of the hair unraveling over time. If there's too little left undone, it takes away from the loose, natural look of the straight hair that I like at the ends after dipping. That's a personal preference. So here, we don't like how this looks. We're going to dip the hair so that it's smooth and sleek. For the sake of this video, I'm only dipping one strand of hair, but normally I would dip the hair in sections because it's easier and I don't really want to burn myself. The reason why we're using boiling water is because it allows the hair to be flexible and it lets the braid just set, basically. I use a towel to not only block the hair and remove the excess water, but to also press the hair into a sleek, straight form. I leave the cup on a counter to allow for a deeper soak, so I can get more braids in this cup when it's just sitting there, and I could tilt my head over and put, as much as I can in there. It's safer than just holding the cup. Look, it's water. If anybody knows where this cup is from, leave a comment and comment on the school that I went to, because this is in that college town. Okay, so as I dip, you dip, we dip, and I remove the excess water, but also press the hair down to keep it slick. Sometimes I redip my hair after all is done or later on that day to make sure I have the best flex in my hair. My braids literally will blow in the wind with a good gust. My newly hired cameraman, who happens to be my boyfriend, obviously wanted some attention. Don't worry, he's being paid in trident layers. This concludes the tutorial for my box braids installation. Again, leave comments, subscribe, and like this video if it helped you in any way. Also, let me know what tips and tricks you use for yourself and on others. Thanks for watching, lady babes and bro babes, all inclusive. Bye!